It's going to be the Vikings at the 49ers, and some alarm yesterday for Vikings fans who should be used to it because it was last Friday that all of a sudden Mike Hughes and Mackenzie Alexander, two of their key defensive backs, not available for Sunday's game against the Saints. The Vikings have Stefon Diggs, who has missed practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, although they didn't really practice on Tuesday, with an illness. And Adam Thielen apparently went down yesterday in practice with an ankle injury. The Vikings may have a problem. Now, Mike Zimmer, the coach of the team, apparently said Thielen is fine, but I wouldn't expect him to say anything but that. And with Diggs, I wonder whether this is a repeat of what we saw from Diggs after that Bears game in Week 4 when he was miffed about his lack of involvement, because it was clear on Sunday he was miffed about his lack of involvement in the game against the Saints.
Yeah, well, I would imagine he's pretty happy at this point right now. I mean, come on, he had a huge football season. He was one of the focal points of their offense, statistically did good. I don't think he's pulling any shenanigans here. He's, the flu is everywhere. Any coach, team we've seen over the last 2 or 3 weeks, they're kind of all dealing with it. So, but either way, if they did not have these two guys, that would be a huge blow to their football team, certainly. I mean, hey, the big thing about this game is, can Dalvin Cook run the football? Okay, once he does run the football, and the way San Francisco plays, they give you a lot of one-on-one opportunities outside against Ahkello Witherspoon or Richard Sherman. So, to me, one of the key factors of the game will be, can Diggs and Thielen just kind of win their one-on-one matchups outside and Cousins put the ball in a good spot? I think that could be a huge thing for the Vikings offense and team in general.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Thielen was phenomenal against the Saints. 7 catches, 129 yards, overcoming that early fumble that could have caused the whole game to go off the rails. Great catch for the ages, right over the shoulder, making that reception, setting up the final touchdown. They need Thielen. They need Diggs. They don't have much depth behind them. They have Kyle Rudolph and Irv Smith Jr. at tight end. I still think what Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison do in the running game is going to be the key because, frankly, they got guys who can get open if the 49ers defense is so focused on trying to figure out how they're going to stop Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison that those guys are going to pop, and it's just a question of them catching the pass when it comes their way. But something to definitely watch, because if Thielen is injured, that's going to – because we saw, I mean, the offense didn't go completely in a shell during the weeks that Thielen was out, but to have everybody back and healthy for the first time against the Saints, we saw what the offense can be.
Yeah, exactly right. It's just another weapon. It's hard to hang your hat on, who are they going to here? And when we do play man-to-man or leave our corners in those situations, hey, there's just a 50% greater chance when both of them are on the field that – Kirk Cousins, one of them's going to be open. One of them's going to beat their guy man-to-man. And, Mike, like you said, I'm no dummy. You're no dummy. We know the key to the Minnesota Vikings is Dalvin Cook in the running game. But I also sit there and go, hey, San Francisco knows that too. And Dee Ford's going to be back. And Quan Alexander, it sounds like he's going to be back. And they're going to be healthy and fresh. And all week, Robert Saleh is going to be beaten into their brain. We got to stop the run game. We got to stop the run game. We got to stop the run game. They're going to be like rabid dogs as far as that's concerned. So to me, that's where one of those things I would watch out early in the game, where Minnesota might play through the pass a little at first just to calm down that front seven. Let me throw it out here to Thielen. Maybe he can make Richard Sherman miss, make a move, get 15, 20 yards. That might have to be the plan of attack, because I think that defense will be honed in on number 33 very, very keenly.
And you make a good point, because when the Vikings won the toss against the Saints, they didn't elect to defer. They wanted the ball. And there's a mentality from Mike Zimmer that we're going to go for it. That the slogan for the Vikings in this playoff run is go get it. And Mike Zimmer has taken that literally. And there is a level of aggressiveness from the Vikings that we typically haven't seen. And that's one of the benefits of being the 6th seed. Because when you're the 6th seed, you're supposed to lose. And with each game you win, we're just on house money at this point. We're supposed to lose. And that mentality of we're just going to go get it. And in a game like this on Saturday, where all the pressure's on the 49ers, they're the 1 seed. They're the team that's had the week off. They're the team that has everything to lose. If you come out early and I compare it to a heavyweight championship where the champ is a big favorite and he gets caught by Buster Douglas early with a lucky punch and put on his butt it changes everything.
It does.
And then the next thing you know, you're in a fight that you weren't supposed to be in.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, hey, there's a lot of different ways they can attack this, but this defense in San Francisco is real. It's healthy. It was reeling a little bit at the end of the year. So will it regain a little bit more of the form we saw in November and October and September when they were dominant? Because in December, they statistically were one of the worst defenses in the NFL. And, of course, injuries did play a big part of that. I get it. But you're right, Mike. I mean, I think Zimmer and Kirk Cousins have a little bit of they realize we got to push the envelope a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball to come out of the NFC. And I think they will try to be aggressive. One of the things, I banged on the table for somebody to run at the New England Patriots because they were small up front. If there's one thing I've said all year about the 49ers that I think, too, is just you can attack these corners. We saw Ahkello Witherspoon get benched at the end of the Seattle game, right, in Week 17. And Richard Sherman, I think, has some flaws, too. I mean, to me, that would be one of the areas I would really want to attack. Thielen, Diggs, Cousins, let's not make this complicated. Let's just work these guys on the outside and see if we can make some plays.
And Kirk Cousins entering the game with a little boost of confidence that came from getting his first postseason victory with a couple of big throws in overtime in New Orleans.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.